I recently got to shoot one of the biggest real estate properties I've ever shot, and of course we did the listing photos for it, a highlight listing video, and we got to create a cinematic lifestyle video. Now you might be wondering, what's a lifestyle video and what's the difference compared to a regular listing video? And my answer is, it's a short film about the property, but it also includes people and actors to tell a story. In other words, it helps a potential buyer visualize the actual lifestyle that you could live in this really high-end property. So let's break down how I plan, shoot, and edit these lifestyle videos, and we'll also be looking at the new DJI RS3 mini gimbal that I've been using the past couple of weeks and shot this entire lifestyle video on. So let's get into it right now. You're probably wondering how this is still wrapped up if I've been using it the past couple of weeks, and the answer is that I actually rented it, used it for a couple of weeks, and I was sold. I always rent gear before I buy it, that way I can test it out and not just have to deal with buying something, not liking it, returning it. So using it those 2 weeks sold me on it, and we'll talk about it more here later in the video. So let's talk a little bit more on what's the difference and the point of a lifestyle video. So normally as real estate videographers, we shoot a listing video of the property to showcase it like a virtual tour. Realtors usually attach this video to their MLS link online or also share it on social media. Now, in my opinion, while these videos are very necessary, especially to showcase the home if someone can't really physically see it, these usually get low engagement when they're posted on social media, especially the fact that they look almost like every other real estate video. So here's where a lifestyle video comes into play. It's a much more engaging, produced short film type of video that showcases the property plus the type of lifestyle that a potential buyer could imagine themselves if they lived there. So like I mentioned in the intro, we produced a lifestyle video and of course a regular listing video. But as you can notice, this is a vertically oriented listing video. That's right, I'm officially seeing the shift where realtors no longer want the regular 16:9 listing video and they just want it formatted for Instagram Reels. It's crazy, things are changing. Probably one of the most important aspects in creating these is the planning that you put into this beforehand. So as someone that has now shot a good amount of creative, production, short film type of content, I've learned that it is definitely the most important part. Because otherwise you can just end up with a bunch of pretty shots, no story or purpose to the video. So luckily in this case, I was working with one of my main clients who's actually pretty creative herself. She had a great vision for the video, basically showcasing a family coming home from vacation and enjoying the amenities of the home. So all I had to do when she pitched me idea was jot down a very detailed shot list and I was good to go. And here's a pro tip, I stress that you always use a shot list. It can seem unnecessary or you can feel like you might not need one if it's a simple video concept, but in my experience, it's a lot harder once you're actually out there shooting to remember everything you wanted to capture and deal with any changes that might come up, because usually things don't go as planned. And it's not hard at all. I literally jot down these notes in my notes app and just check them as I go. And this way you can easily direct the shoot and have just a much more structured and smooth shoot overall. Now let me mention some shooting tips that I wish I knew in the beginning. It's really easy to get wrapped up on the production side of this and think you need all the gear in the world to get this done. Multiple lenses, multiple cameras, tripods, gimbals, sliders. But the truth is, the less you bring, the more of a minimal setup, the better it will be. That entire video was simply shot on my Canon R6 and my 15-35 RF lens, which is what's filming me right now, the DJI RS3 mini gimbal, and my drone. Having a more minimal setup that you know can get the job done lets you focus more on the story and not second guessing yourself on what gear to use. Another tip is to keep the shots simple, but get a variety of them. One thing I'll do is shoot a scene 2 to 3 times, but do it differently each time, whether it's a different composition, a different angle, a different perspective. That way I just have more variety in editing. For example, the shot that I got of the car pulling up, I filmed the first one at 15mm, then when the trunk was opening, I filmed it at 24mm, and then I also got drone coverage of the whole thing happening as well. That way in editing, I can mix up the shots, making it more dynamic versus if it was just one focal length, one shot the whole time, just would have been not as interesting and a lot more less produced looking. And that's basically how I shot the rest of the video. Every single scene, did it a couple of times, whether I changed up the focal length, the perspective, and I think it worked out pretty well. And along with getting a variety of shots, I also made sure to not get all gimbal shots. I did the shots at the very end on my tripod. And I honestly wish I got more of those because it just added a different feel to the video. And I feel like it's really easy to just shoot everything on a gimbal, and the problem with that is it just makes everything look the same and it makes every smooth shot less interesting. And lastly, once you have all of your creative scenes done, don't forget to get the shots of the home. After all, that's what this is about. Make sure to get the shots of the home that actually go with the video. For example, we wanted to highlight the kitchen, the living room, and especially all of the backyard area that is the big selling point of this property. That way, whenever you're in editing, you can jump between the creative scenes and the shots of the house, and they'll tie in together. Now, as far as actually using the RS3 Mini for the shoot, it went great. I haven't even opened this yet. And have a shoot tomorrow, gotta set it up. So I primarily rented this gimbal to see if it would replace my Ronin S. Gosh, look how small this is. I mean, come on. Let me show you the perspective of this, of how small this is. This is my Ronin S that I've used for the past 3 to 4 years, and this is the RS3 gimbal. Look at that. So honestly, my Ronin S works great, and I still recommend it. It's just really heavy. Just after a long period of use, your lower back starts to hurt, and you can't shoot vertically on this without any extra adapters or purchasing something else, and it still gets a little bit of jitters a couple of times that I have to stabilize in post. Now, switching over to the RS3 Mini, it is way lighter. Like right now, the difference is insane of how light this is. It honestly looks like a bigger mobile gimbal, which you can mount your phone. I've tried that and it worked great, so that's another plus. And the fact that you can natively vertically mount your camera on here is a big plus. So all you have to do to mount it vertically is take this arm off, take this and mount it on this one, and it's really easy and you'll be good to go. And like I mentioned before, it's just crazy the amount that clients are now switching over to vertical based video. You know, I get it, but I always thought they would want the regular video and then also a vertical, but now they're just like, we just want the vertical. And so I'm like, oh, okay, let me figure that out now. So switching over to the RS3 Mini has been that solution, and it's a lot easier on my back. And the biggest question was whether this little gimbal could hold my pretty decent heavy setup. You know, it's a Canon R6, which is a mid-size mirrorless camera body, and the 15-35, which is filming me right now, is a pretty big lens. And so that was my biggest concern, but whenever I balanced it, which it was really easy to balance, it wasn't pushing it, it holds the weight just fine. Especially when you calibrate the motor parameters, it seems like it's only using half the strength it needs, and it doesn't seem to push the motors really hard in any direction, so it holds it just fine. And like the other RS3 gimbals, the touchscreen on here is really nice, really easy to change the settings whenever you're out in the field, especially in sunlight. I could honestly make a room for this in my bag. Lock up the arms, which one thing to note, it doesn't auto lock like the regular RS3, but I don't care, I'm not even used to that. My Ronin S is flimsy. This strap is the lock. Being able to just lock the arms and then put this in my camera bag if I really wanted to is gonna be nice for travel, because I never really think about bringing my gimbal because I just would have to pack that, you know, separately. But this is now, it's gonna change the game. Okay, so lastly, let's talk about some editing tips. Keeping the same approach that we did for editing, I honestly would recommend that you keep a very simple, clean, minimal approach to this. Not really filling this up with crazy effects, visual overlays, transitions. All I did was just add 2 little film transitions to just go from one scene to another because it didn't seem really seamless. And that's all I did. Everything else was just clean cuts to the music. That way it's just much more of a cleaner luxury approach like the home. And if you're interested in where I get all of my music from, I use Epidemic Sound. This video isn't sponsored by Epidemic Sound, but I have nothing but good things to say about them. I get all of my music for my YouTube videos and for real estate video projects from their site, and it's so easy to find good music and sound effects. And if you're interested to check out some of the music that I personally use, in the link below you can find a curated playlist that I've put together, all of the top real estate tracks that I use, and if you like them and you decide to sign up, you'll be supporting me and my channel, and you'll get a free 30-day trial. So it's honestly worth it. But like I mentioned, sound design is a big piece to elevate your project, and I get all of these from Epidemic Sound like I just mentioned. I simply go to the search bar, search what I'm looking for, and just download it and plug it into the project. Pretty much all I do is just adjust the volume or try and just kind of fade it more in the background so it's not right in your face. It comes out pretty good. And so this is what I do. Once I have the basic edit done, I turn off the music and then I just play back the video completely silent, but then I note down on what sounds I would expect to hear. For example, if we jump to the beginning, we have a drone shot, we have outdoor ambience, we have a car driving. That right there is 3 sounds in itself. So if you turn the music off, that's what you'll hear. And then when we have the car pulling up to the driveway, we have a little speed transition, which means there can be a whoosh there. But then throughout the whole video, we also have the backyard pool noises, the fire crackling, anything that I see that would have a sound, I basically try and add it in, because it's just another step to immerse the viewer, to kind of sell them more on the production side of this video, not just clean visuals and music. Like I said, since it's a bit of a short film, you want to add those sound effects to take it to the next level. So next time you're working on a creative video edit, turn off the music and plug in some sound design. And honestly, sometimes I personally like the video better without music, because I just love hearing all the sound design that goes with the video versus just having the music over it. So that's pretty much it. That's my approach to shooting these higher end cinematic lifestyle videos. I love doing these. These are my favorite types of videos to do when it comes to real estate, because shooting regular listing videos of just the home and the property itself gets kind of boring sometimes. And like I said, everything starts to look the same, so I'm always trying to see how I can make it different from everyone else's. So getting to do these more produced style videos are just more of a blend of the skill sets that I like to use. And these videos will definitely add to the brand value of the realtor and for you and your business. That's it for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, comment down your thoughts, subscribe if you haven't already. I would love for you guys to be part of the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.